Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're putting on our relationship counselor hats to tackle something that keeps so many of us up at night, which is trying to figure out a partner's actual long-term intentions. You know the drill. Late-night venting to friends, endlessly overanalyzing text messages, relying on pure gut feelings. Well, instead of all that, we're going to use a highly practical analogy today. Building a sturdy house. I mean, you wouldn't just start pouring concrete without a plan, right? So we're going to objectively evaluate the blueprint of a lasting commitment. We'll be looking at the exact structural signs that prove a relationship is truly built to last.
So let's just dive right into this incredibly common anxiety. Have you ever caught yourself staring at the ceiling and asking, does he actually see a future with me, or am I literally just hoping he does? When a relationship starts getting serious, it is totally natural for your mind to race. The uncertainty can be absolutely exhausting. But the truth is, a partner who is genuinely thinking about a lifelong commitment usually reveals their intentions long before there's a ring or some grand proposal. Today, we're going to learn how to shift away from that stressful emotional guessing and move toward actionable observation. We're looking for consistent behaviors, not just dramatic speeches.
Here is our roadmap for This Explainer, breaking down relationship health into structural phases. We'll start with the relationship blueprint, then move into building a solid foundation. After that, we'll cover weathering the storms, the importance of daily actions over gestures, and finally, having the conversation.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the relationship blueprint. Just like a contractor needs a reliable plan before breaking ground, a lasting relationship absolutely starts with a shared vision. Think about early dating for a second. Everything is focused on surface-level romance, right? It's the honeymoon phase. Everyone's on their best behavior, the dates are perfectly planned, and frankly, nobody snores yet. You can think of these early days as the pretty architectural renderings of a house. They are absolutely gorgeous to look at, and they really sell the dream, but they will not keep the rain out. Serious commitment, on the other hand, is a completely different phase. It's about rolling up your sleeves and drafting the actual structural plans together. It's the active and sometimes kind of messy integration of two separate lives into one cohesive blueprint. So what does drafting that blueprint actually look like in practice? Well, listen carefully to his language. Is it I or is it we? If he naturally says things like, when we travel next year, or if we buy a house someday, he's no longer operating as a solo act. He is consistently picturing you in his future. And secondly, watch for integration. Meeting a buddy for drinks is one thing, but if he brings you to the job site to meet the real VIPs, his family, his inner circle friends, he expects you to be a permanent fixture in his world. He's genuinely proud to have you by his side.
Once that blueprint is drafted, we move to Section 2, building a solid foundation, because a plan is literally just paper until you start pouring the concrete.
And the absolutely crucial ingredient in that concrete? Mutual respect. All the romance in the world means nothing without it. A man who is serious about marriage treats you as an equal partner, not someone to control or compete with. Respect is for sure the absolute bedrock of long-term survival. Now, respect translates into deeply foundational actions. First, consider how he invests his time. Anyone can shoot off a quick "I love you" text, but does he actually keep his promises when life gets chaotic? Does he show up when you really need support, making time for you even when his schedule is completely packed? Second, he respects your boundaries. This means actively valuing your opinions and supporting your personal goals rather than subtly pressuring you into decisions you just aren't comfortable with. These aren't just words, these are the daily bricks being laid to ensure the house won't sink when the ground beneath you inevitably shifts. With the foundation firmly set, it's time for Section 3, weathering the storms. We need to talk about the load-bearing walls that keep your house standing when the pressure hits. And trust me, the pressure always hits.
A serious partner doesn't run and hide from the heavy topics. In fact, couples who proactively discuss finances early on are significantly more likely to stay together. It's a proven indicator of relationship success. A partner looking at a lifelong commitment actually wants to talk about career goals, whether or not you want children, where to live, and how you're going to manage tricky family expectations. He isn't just floating along, enjoying the present moment and hoping for the best. He is actively testing the load-bearing walls of your partnership to make sure they can hold serious weight.
This directly ties into how he handles conflict. Look, every single relationship faces disagreements. Disagreements are like bad weather. But a partner with a long-term mindset sees conflict as a shared, solvable problem. He sees it as an opportunity to reinforce the house, not abandon it. He apologizes when he's wrong, he actually listens to your perspective, and he seeks solutions with you instead of just trying to win the argument or walking away when things get tough. As we put the roof on our metaphorical house, we arrive at Section 4, Daily actions over gestures. Think of this as your final weatherproofing inspection. It is so incredibly easy to get swept up in grand gestures. You know the ones. The dramatic promises, the sweeping declarations about forever, the expensive gifts. But we really must recognize the stark contrast here. True commitment isn't a fireworks show. It's daily reliability. It is making you a priority on a random, boring Tuesday. It's taking practical, everyday steps toward building that shared future, rather than just talking endlessly about how great it will be someday.
And that brings us to the biggest indicator of all, congruence. Congruence is simply when a partner's actions consistently support their spoken words over a long period of time. If he tells you that you are important, his actual schedule and his daily choices will reflect that you're a priority. Congruence is literally the cure for relationship anxiety. It completely eliminates the need to constantly guess or read between the lines, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that the foundation is solid and his intentions are genuine. You can finally rest easy when words and actions stay perfectly aligned. Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, having the conversation. Because one of the most frequently asked questions is about pacing. How do you officially finalize your assessment without rushing things?
While every relationship moves at its own unique timeline, following a few practical steps ensures you aren't leaving your future entirely up to chance. Step 1. Observe the overall pattern of his behavior over time. Consistency tells a much more reliable story than occasional big, flashy moments. Step 2. And this is vital. Stop relying on emotional guessing. Hoping a partner will suddenly change or trying to decipher mixed signals only feeds your anxiety and delays the truth. Remember, if it's confusing, it's not structural. And step 3, when the time feels right, initiate a calm, honest conversation about your shared goals.
Ultimately, the healthiest relationships don't rely on hoping and guessing. Clear communication is often the strongest sign that a relationship is moving toward a lasting commitment. Marriage is really about two people choosing each other explicitly and repeatedly through honest dialogue. It's about explicitly confirming that you are both reading the exact same blueprint.
So take a moment today to reflect on your own foundation. Look back at the structural signs we've covered, from using we language and integrating lives to handling conflict and maintaining congruence. Which of these actions do you think speaks the loudest? Assess these in your own relationship and ask yourself, are you building on solid ground or just admiring a pretty rendering? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. And remember, the right partner will always be willing to hand you a hard hat and build right alongside you.